Mike's Daily Podcast
1720. Oh my god, I almost put my eye out yesterday. Wow, I was walking through there's some wooded areas in my backyard. They're a little bit, I need to go through there with a hedger like now. And this branch just came over and practically poked me right in the eye. Wow, it's amazing the eyeball, how quickly the eyelid will shut to avoid
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Something happening to the eye because, like, it got close. So you got to keep an eye
Mike's Daily Podcast
out for wayward branches, and when your backyard is turning into a jungle, you might have to go and bungle in the garage and find that hedger and chop everything down and then throw it in the compost bin, and then you'll be the coolest guy in town. Oh, so apparently there's this
Mike's Daily Podcast.
PG&E is going to pay us or charge us more
Mike's
money because
Daily
there's this East Bay
Podcast
efficiency program.
Yeah!
PG&E. So somehow they're working together, and my bill is going to go up like $5 every month because I'm going to be more efficient in Alameda County. So what you can do is opt out of it, which is what I'm going to do. Because what the hell? They already charge us so much for friggin' taxes, property taxes, living here taxes, people walking in on me as I'm trying to talk taxes. And now they're going to charge me more. And the rent here is too high. The rent is too high. And my lovely lady friend was driving in an Uber, and the driver was telling her, hey, the rent is crazy here. I had to move. I used to live in the Bay Area. Look who else walked in. I'm living in Pittsburgh now. Everybody's moving to Pittsburgh. And because this guy's landlord just increased the rent $600 and then like basically evicted him. So I used to be a landlord in the Bay Area. And I was cool with the rent. What he paid in rent when he moved in 3 years ago is what he kept paying till the moment he left this year. So I just think it's awful.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I think we'll keep the mood of the podcast down here in this area. No, we won't. Podcast picture today. I don't know. Oh, Basil, it's tough. It's heartbreaking. It really is. That, he can't walk like he used to. And part of that, I'm amazed what other stuff I can get done now. Because I take Basil on these very short walks because he can't go that far now. But it's amazing what other stuff I can cook. I can make dinner. I can get laundry done. I used to go on these walks with Basil that would last about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we would not only walk a long ways, but run into people that would talk to us, and time went by. I mean, I gave the dog a good life, I have to say. He's still alive. He's still kicking, but at some point you have to realize not many years left, so. But he's doing better than he was. I talked about on the last show, his nail because he's kind of dragging the back legs a little bit because of the arthritis and the hip dysplasia and age. And so that got one of the nails got cut to the quick, and it hurt him. So he's been very careful with it. But I put some, check this out, to keep the nail together. Something else I learned from a vet. I put a little bit of super glue on it to keep it together. That's what you do with your nails, right? Or put enamel on. Same kind of thing, and it's working. So he's walking a little bit better. I see in my memories section of Facebook, which has probably been hacked like 5 times since I've been talking to you, that I spoke with Kevin. Oh, I guess we did addendum with Kevin about 3 years ago on this date. and we talked about beer. I'm going to be seeing Kevin today is the plan, and probably doing the same thing today, 3 years on. Isn't that awesome? There's just oddly enough, Kevin also posted to my Facebook 3 years ago, you know how when your alarm goes off and there's a radio guy talking, it's mine and Mike Matthews' job to make sure that happens. And well, Kevin doesn't do that anymore, but he posted the guy who said the rent's too high guy in New York who wears the black gloves and has the funky facial hair, and it said it's too early for this bleep. It is very early. As I'm talking to you, it is 5:54. Oh, it was also on this date 4 years ago that Jan Hooks passed away. She used to be on Saturday Night Live. She was hilarious. What was her she didn't have a standout character, but she was in so many episodes. And you know, Kate McKinnon, as I kind of wander around in this pot. Oh, Kate McKinnon. Good heavens. We were watching the one, my lady friend and I, the episode she did on Saturday Night Live where she's talking to the Pentagon, to the CIA, about being abducted. And you've got Ryan Reynolds and Cecily Strong talking about, oh, it was a beautiful beam of light. We were talking with these beautiful creatures on the spaceship. It was beautiful. And she's like, no, I didn't get that at all. They came over and they were batting my boob back and forth. I think I got the lower of the whole. I didn't get the top brass, if you know what I mean. But I've had worse Wednesday nights. Oh, she is so great, Kate McKinnon. Damn, funny as heck. So, I also on this date 5 years ago I was talking then to Fabagoo. What is Fabagoo? It no longer exists. But it was an attempt by a local guy, Steve Hansen, to bring you a website that would bring you all the local events going on. And it just didn't take off. It was hard to, getting like I talked about yesterday. Yeah, somebody asked me, do you make money doing a podcast? No. This is how you make a money. Hey, hey, it was Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday. Hey, Italians coming to America and enslaving people. Oh boy. No, what it was that what the hell? It was so yeah, you can't make money doing a podcast unless you get sponsors. And if I got sponsors, that means instead of hearing my beautiful voice for the past 8 minutes, I had to look over and check, you would have heard me going, hey, try the new boxes of soap and cereal. So Fabagoo couldn't get the ad space, couldn't get the ads, and it went away. But it was an interesting idea. And I used to have Steve Hansen on, and he would talk about events going on in the Bay Area. I think this particular one that I'm looking at was all about how Half Moon Bay this weekend is. In fact, they are doing that this weekend. I know this because I was just down. They're going to be doing their big festival, which don't go to it. Hey, Half Moon Bay Chamber of Commerce, I'm telling people not to go to your frickin' event. Why? Because if you go over the hill and go to Half Moon Bay, you will never, ever leave. You will not get out of there till midnight. I know this because last year I went. I took the wonderful Basil the Boxer over there to the beach. And then afterwards, we're trying to leave and we can't because the frickin' crazy traffic. And all it is they close up downtown of Half Moon Bay and they put a bunch of ugly, disgusting booths there. People selling crap for way too much and yelling at you and being annoying. Hey, if you want to check out downtown Half Moon Bay, just go any other time of the year. Don't go this weekend. Avoid it at all cost. I did, however, find the restaurant that I love so much with the delicious Italian sandwiches. This is an Italian theme today, and I'm seeing Kevin today who's Italian, so hey, Italy. So, yeah, what we have here is some Italian meats, an Italian sandwich. It was so delicious. And that's what I found a year ago. Discovered this restaurant. And I went there last weekend with my lovely lady friend. And we picked up some chili fries while we were there. I don't mean to make you hungry. But that's... I know I also made fun a year ago. 5 years ago, rather. There was this guy I worked with for a brief period. Let's just call him Joshua Tomasis. And this guy, apparently... I know he's not listening to this podcast because he listened to it once and proceeded to tell me it was the worst thing he ever heard and gave me a bunch of lame reasons as to why. Oh, you start off the podcast and you're talking and then you're singing. That makes no sense. I don't get it. And then he is my age and he has, I guess, supposedly his hair never turned gray. Right. At 50, your hair turns gray no matter what. I don't care if your name's Ronald Reagan. Well, I did kind of dye it a little bit. Shh. I remember they used to say the reason why Reagan's hair doesn't turn, his hair was still looking like it did, back when he was in his 20s, was because he ate a lot of honey. That was the theory at the time in the 80s, and they were trying to sell the particular honey he was talking about and make a big cash in on that. So, yeah, that was back when we were kids. We weren't allowed to watch television until all the chores were done. That meant all the chores. I didn't even realize we had a TV until I was 30 years old. For some reason, I mentioned that in a post on Facebook 5 years ago. Oh, and I interviewed the band Saint Motel 6 years ago. That's right. And you can find the interview at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. I never plug the website. I guess I do. I sponsor my own show by putting my own commercial in and saying MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And yes, I also have other things to talk about on today's show. I haven't talked about Brett Kavanaugh in, 12 minutes. What is wrong with me? I'll tell you what's wrong with me. I'm tired of this, and I see it as a losing game. I see for every time I mentioned, the women are going to come out and vote for Democrats, that necessarily, no, it's not going to happen. Because I just listened to a thing on the Daily New York Times. They had a reporter out in North Dakota, and Heidi Heitkamp is probably going to get voted out because she... voted no against Brett Kavanaugh. And she's a Democrat. How she's lasted this long in a red state, I don't know. But it came out in this interview that Heidi Heitkamp's mom had been sexually abused, and she got very upset when it was told to her that her candidate, the guy running against her, is... He was saying, yeah, enough of the Me Too movement. It's a bunch of victims. And she goes, my mom was not a victim. It made her stronger. But you can't, just hate women like that. Hate on women and what they've been through. Anyway, enough of that. I know I've been talking about it, and I probably should keep talking about it because it's a big issue. But yesterday... I was listening to some wonderful radio show. Let's see, this was in the morning. Don't say you need me, 'cause I'll only walk out the door.
Sir.
Let's see.
Dennis Spreaker.
Let's see.
Crash in Sanford.
But as those who have known him best.
Oh, Collins of Maine. Collins of Maine. She did it. She put the final nail in the coffin. Whereas, wait, that wasn't really a coffin, was it? Whatever the thing is, you put the nail in that makes you the Supreme Court justice. That's what she did.
In the Supreme Court.
Did you? And you heard that as soon as she gave that speech, her opponent in Maine, who's running against her, the opponent got the website crashed with the amount of support and money being donated. So
they thought this was going to work.
He says, and he's a Democrat, right, Lance?
I'm Mike Gallagher, and I just swallowed my own lip. I was going to play something off that he said that irritated me.
You risk this country being thrown into a state of utter chaos.
Oh, that's it.
By the kinds of scoundrels who we saw on display over the Brett Kavanaugh fiasco.
Oh, yeah, so this whole thing about all these people protesting in Washington, D.C., that they're not allowed to protest because and that don't vote for Democrats because you're only going to have more protesters. What? No, you're going to have more protesters if you don't vote Democrat because the Democrats are going to be, what the hell? What's going on? Stupid. Anyway, I guess, what's this one?
You do. Because the Democrats will guarantee much more of
Michael Medved
with impeachment investigations.
See, here they go. This is all they're talking about, the conservative talk show hosts. Don't vote Democrat because you're only going to get impeachments. You're going to get more protests. It's going to be a terrible world. There'll be, where America is, there's going to be this crater with the smoke fizzing.
And lots of investigations and lots of hysteria and the end of the republic as we know it. And basically, some of the Democrats on the Senate floor, wait till you hear Cory Booker, Spartacus.
Oh, whatever. Hey, the interesting thing about Michael Medved, though, is he does take calls. I won't be able to find it in this part of the show, I don't think. But he does get called. He does actually take and talk to the people that disagree with him, unlike Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager. Those guys, they get a disagreeing call and they immediately shut them up. Whereas Michael Medved actually tries to reason with them and talk to them. And you see what Michael Medved defend in a very rational way, his point of view. And I appreciate that. But I guess I haven't talked to the people that walked in today here at Cafe Anyway. Let's say hi to them, shall we? Or do you not want to? Because we don't have to. That's not... In fact, we had a podcast picture I was supposed to tell you about, too. Well, we could do this one. Perfect. Hey, look who walked in. It's great.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. I can't believe what's going on. And that you almost lost an eyeball.
Yeah, Chely. It was pretty bad. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. We're really glad to be here. And once again, it looks like that Floyd is offended.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
Yeah! All right, good. Nothing's changed there. Podcast picture today is going to be... How about this nice sunset from the weekend? Okay. I guess I could do that one. That's just nothing. Well, I guess that we are pretty much done with this show as we go outside a cafe anyway. We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. I'm enjoying talking to you. This has been great. Next show, we will have the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Yeah. This is a sunset from Half Moon Bay on Friday. If you can make it out to the beach in the Bay Area, do it now because we got that nice clear weather and the wind and the Indian summer and all that. Of course, we also got the smoke and all that. That's not good. Okay. Thanks.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!